Hey, what's happening, y'all? It's me coming back at you again with another vid. Well, Joseph Parker is scheduled to face Haumono uh, coming up in a couple weeks, and we all know that Joseph Parker is the mandatory challenger to Anthony Joshua's IBF heavyweight title, which is a fight that everyone is anticipating that we cannot wait to see. But needless to say, at the same time, Joseph Parker and his handlers, particularly Joseph Parker, is not looking past Haumono. Um, leaning before leading up to the Joshua shot. Now, Kevin Barry, who's Joseph Parker's trainer, had something to say about that, and he said here, quote, and this is from an article from Boxing Scene. He said here, quote, that's not our decision to make. As far as he's replying to the question on, would you like Parker to face Joshua in the ball? So again, he said that's not our quote. This is not our decision to make. We're sitting here as the mandatory, and he is the champion, referring to Anthony Joshua. Him, promoter, they control that decision. Wow. I mean, there's a chance we could fight him in November, but personally, I don't think it's an option that they will want to take. Look, all I know is whether we want to fight him in November or March or April next year. When that time comes, we'll be ready to step into the ring. Now, when the lights are on, that's when Joseph Parker shines the best. The bigger the fight, the bigger Joseph's game is. Yeah, I may have to agree there. So, furthermore, there's some other quotes I want to say here. Other than that, Joseph has something to say about this. He's like, actually, no. Kevin Barry had more to say about this leading up to the Sully Haumono fight. He also said here, quote, that, as far as Haumono's concerned, I've been in the game for a very long time, and I've seen numbers of guys look past their man in front of them and at the big goal, and they come unstuck. So it's very important for us that we prepare ourselves for Suleiman Haumono. I'll leave it there, and I could not agree more with Kevin Barry, because if you go back into the past, and me, guys, I like to dig in, like to correlate history into modern topics when it comes to today's modern age of boxing. Fighters looking past their opponents can be very, very dangerous, and it can be very detrimental to their careers. For example, we look at Riddick Bowe. Leading up to the first Galata fight, Riddick Bowe was really looking past Andrew Galata. He was very dismissive about him, and from what I've heard in fighter meetings with HBO, Riddick Bowe would just refuse to answer questions about Galata, about his opponent, while he was talking about guys like Holyfield, Tyson, Lewis, and all the other prime heavyweights, Shannon Briggs, whatnot. He wasn't really focused on Galata going into their first fight. He was more focused on those other heavyweights, and that's a lot of eyebrows raised in the fighters meeting when he was refusing to answer questions about his opponent, Andrew Galata. But needless to say, that became very detrimental to Bowe and his health, by that matter, because he suffered 2 beatings in those fights against Galata, which pretty much ended his career, if you ask me. Yes, he retired after that, but after the first Galata fight, I think that's what did Bowe in, because Bowe was really, really shot. We can argue that the Holyfield trilogy was what really took a lot out of Bowe. So, yeah, and also we can also go back to Ricardo Mayorga when he first fought Vernon Forrest. Vernon Forrest was very, very dismissive of Ricardo Mayorga leading up to their first fight, because his whole focus was to unify the 147-pound divisions. He was trying to go after the likes of, who was at the 147? At the Corey Spinks and Zab Judah was coming up in weight. So his focus was on those other welterweights. And, when he looked past Mayorga, that really became very detrimental towards his career. He's had some setbacks, losing in the rematch against Mayorga, which some would say that's kind of disputed. He lost in a majority decision, a very close majority decision. And he also suffered losses to one other loss to Sergio Mora. Yes, he did become a world champion in the 154-pound division, but he quite couldn't really capture the lightning or the itch. I would say, given the fact that he was coming off 2 victories against Shane Mosley, the first man to beat Shane Mosley and beat him in a rematch as well. So, so it's very, very dangerous for a fighter. It's very detrimental that they don't, if they look past their opponents. So I really appreciate and respect Joseph Parker and his trainer Kevin Barry for not taking Suleiman Haumono very lightly, because Mind you, yes, Suleiman Haumono's had some lackluster fights throughout his career. His greatest win is against Kiyotaro Fujimoto. Yes, I get that. But he is a very hard puncher, and he does have some bit of boxing ability. So once he catches you, it's done. Yeah, they can't take Haumono very, very likely. So, yeah, I really appreciate the attitude. I really appreciate their focus here. And on another note, if Joseph cannot get the fight with Anthony Joshua this fall, which to me looks like it's very unlikely because Eddie Hearn had came out and said that after Joshua's next defense, and then more likely is Bermain Stavern, he's going to take some more. He's going to take some time off. So, and mind you, that the IBF had mandated that both Parker and Anthony Joshua fight before January 1st of next year. So, yeah, I mean Eddie Hearn, he did make that statement, and it looks very odd to me. It could be apparent that he is stalling the Joseph Parker mandatory shot for till next year, probably like to mid next year, more likely, based off that the wording and the language that he put out about Anthony Joshua taking some time off. So, I do want to see the fight between the two. I can't wait for that to go down. And if the fight doesn't go down again with Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua, there's also talk that Joseph Parker will more likely face Kubrat Pulev after he gets past Suleiman Haumono. Now, that would be a damn great fight. Kubrat Pulev versus Joseph Parker. Now, let me know your take on that. Who do you think would win between Joseph Parker and Kubrat Pulev? Let me know what your thoughts are. Care to comment, share, subscribe, signing off. Peace.